Tyler. Tyler, where are you?
Whoa.
Where are you? What are you doing?
Whitney, what's going on?
We have a show, dude.
That's today?
It's right now. Let's go.
Shoot. I'll be back.
Very excited to hang out with you this football season, Tyler.
Perfect. And Whitney, I can't wait to get things going with you.
Flex, I'm down that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it on. I wake up, flex, I'm down that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it on. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it on. I wake up, flex, thumb down that check.
Hi, Tyler.
Whitney, what the heck are we doing?
We're drinking coffee and talking Bengals, buddy.
Amen to that. Man,
Yeah.
I am so excited to finally see this project come to life. We have a phenomenal guest with us today. I know she's on a tight schedule today, so I won't stall anymore. Basically, Miss Cincinnati Sports. This lady is constantly busy with just about any sport in Cincinnati. You name it, Cyclones, FC Cincinnati, Reds, Bengals, and even UC Bearcats. And we got a bonus guest. So without further ado, Sara, Elyse, and Minnie.
Good morning, guys. Happy game day eve. How are we?
We're doing good. How about yourself?
You guys, that was quite the intro. I'm like, who the hell are they talking about?
That's you.
Guest list for your show can only go up from here. I'm like, how are we starting with me? Like, I'm so honored here for your brand new show. Like, thank you so much for having us this morning.
No problem. I mean, we couldn't think of a better guest to start this off with, and especially being our first broadcast. And obviously, you have broadcasting experience with iHeartRadio, so we figured maybe you could guide us a little bit if we get a little off the rails.
Oh my gosh! Well, I just woke up an hour ago, so I don't know how much guiding I can do. But I'm on cup number 2 here, so it could help me out. And then Minnie woke up for this special event too. Like normally she doesn't get out of bed till like 10 or 11. And she's like, guys, this is an exciting day. Let's get up extra early for these two this morning.
We are honored. We are so honored. Sara, you've had like the most phenomenal off season ever. Like we just came off the best off season for the Bengals in recent memory. And then you go right into having the best off season. Like how stoked are you on a scale of 1 to 10 this year?
So there's been a lot of really exciting things that have happened to me over the past few weeks, which like is really not normal. I'm like, what is going on? I feel so honored, truly. I just got the job with the UC Bearcats football team. So I'm going to be their in-game host for all home games at Nipper. And I could not be more excited, but I won't be getting started till next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
Be with Oktoberfest Cincinnati. I'm kicking off their events today. So that's kind of why I have to bounce a little early. So I'm committed to working with them. But then next weekend, it's go time, baby.
Yes.
And
yes.
Trying to ditch us. Hold on a second.
No.
You're not.
I don't blame her. I don't blame. Oh, there we go. Now we got a close up.
There we go. Yeah. This is Minnie. She's really excited to be here today, as you can tell.
Yes.
So in addition
Cincinnati
to
should be fun today. Sorry, Tyler.
Yeah. No. Go ahead. Let's talk Oktoberfest, because I completely forgot that was this weekend. So what are you doing out there today, Sara?
Yeah. So Oktoberfest Cincinnati actually starts next weekend, but they have like some preliminary events. But you are kind of right. Oktoberfest in Northern Kentucky is going on this weekend. So you're halfway there.
It's across the river.
There's so much on all over the side. And it's like, how can we just do everything? You know, you can't do it all, but we try to do as much as we can.
It's the best time of the year to be in and around the Cincinnati area.
It is. We've got college football, high school football. The Reds are finishing up their season. We got our Bengals playing tomorrow. Like, it's just such a fun time.
And speaking of the Bengals, we got a new Bengals pregame party at the Banks this year, which yours truly is hosting again.
Guys, I'm so excited. Yeah, so that kicks off tomorrow. We'll be hosting every single home game at 10 a.m. if it's a 1 o'clock game. So it's like 3 hours before every home game. It's going to be at Moraline Logger House right there at the Banks. We've got so many fun activities going on there. It's not just like, you know, come out, tailgate, have a drink. Like, we've got a bounce house. We've got a 360 camera. We've got a DJ. Foaling Warehouse is going to be there. Our friends at Cincy Shirts, they're going to have all of their gear. We have Ken Anderson stopping by tomorrow from 10 to 11. It's a great day all around. It's just such a fun time to be a Bengals fan, and I'm excited to be hosting it.
That sounds like the place to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Face painter, like there really is something for everyone. We've got burger specials, beer specials, and we've got that whole back area of Moraline. So it's just going to be a great time. I'm excited.
I know me and my brother used to do Moraline before Bengals games, and that is such a neat area. So it's nice to see that's being taken more and more advantage of, you know, every year. It just seems like they keep adding on just a little bit more. So to see them add more to that pregame party this year is super exciting. So I hope to check it out this year.
I hope so too. You guys have got to come out. You can get your face painted. You can get a spray tan. You can get site spray tans with my friends at Mobile Glow. You can get some fun gear at Cincy Shirts. Do a great DJ. I'll be on the mic getting everyone hyped up. Grab a burger, a beer. It's the place to be, man. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm going to St. Lucia here at the end of October, and if you couldn't tell by the camera, I could probably use a little extra color.
Yeah, Tyler, hook up with my friends. They'll come to you, or you can go get them at the tailgate. Like they're all straight to your house. I got one yesterday, and Minnie was like stepping in like their little tent because they set up a tent thing, and then you kind of just step into it, and then they just start spraying you down. It takes about 10 minutes, and this little girl right here steps into the tent thinking she's getting a spray tan. I'm like,
is that why she's so tan this morning? Because she's got to glow.
That's how color. This is what you could look like, Tyler.
Tyler, I will
I'm sure
you the fee because you need that, buddy, before you go to St.
Yeah, like this glow got going on here. This could.
I'm gonna put a vote on Twitter later. Like, should Tyler get a spray tan? Yes or no?
Yes. Tyler should get a spray tan. It's a great life decision. She's happy, obviously.
Right.
If I come home tomorrow from my bachelor party with a spray tan, I might need a couch to sleep on as well. I don't think Laura would be happy with me.
Where's the bachelor party?
So actually, we're starting off at the Banks, doing a couple bar hopping a little bit to the FCC game, and then we'll end up back at the Banks tonight. So I'll be over in that area.
Well, congrats! That's exciting.
Thank you. Wedding is 60-ish days away.
Wow.
October 29th.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations! I met your fiance at the Taste of the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
She's a doll. You really out coverage, Tyler.
I'm not even on the field at that point.
Facts. I guess like watch out.
You guys are a beautiful couple.
Really?
Thank you very much.
Of course. I can't wait to see wedding pictures.
Yeah. I feel like it's a watch out Banks tonight situation because you have your bachelor party and then isn't tonight the meetup, Sarah? Like, aren't you going to be at the Holy Grail?
Right.
Yeah,
with
Tyler,
my girls.
All of you guys have to be there 8 o'clock tonight at Holy Grail. It's like the unofficial kickoff. We're making this a big. We're trying to make it into a big thing. I don't know who's all coming, but like the more the merrier.
Everybody.
Yeah, we should be there by the end of the night, whenever the FCC game gets over. So
Yeah, make that a stop tonight, Tyler. We'd love to see you out there.
we'll do. Actually, we're staying in the that hotel right there by Moorline, across from the Hall of Fame.
The AC Marriott.
Yeah.
I stayed for my bachelorette party. It's a beautiful hotel, and they've got a nice rooftop there and a great bar up there. It's fun.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, those pregame, the night before meet and greets at the Grail, highly recommend. If you haven't gone and you're a fan, you have to go. Like, there's no option. You have to go. Everybody's there. Everybody's in a great mood. It's just a big love fest for all Bengals fans, and I am so sad I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to live vicariously through you all and stalk every picture and video.
We're going to miss you.
I know. I tried to get Jess Hube to make a flat Stanley version of me and take there to get selfies with. I don't think I have her convinced yet, but I'm trying.
Oh my gosh, we would love it. We would just put you all over the bar, like behind the bar.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, though, we'll just kind of Photoshop you in somehow.
Okay, that works for me. Thanks, girl. You got me.
I got you. I wish that you could be there tonight.
I know. Hopefully I'll see you at a couple of away games. Do you ever get to go to away games with as busy as you are?
Yeah, so my dad and I are going to be going to New Orleans when they play the Saints. I'm so excited.
I'll be there. I will see you there. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it was a few months ago. My dad calls me and he goes, he's like, you want to go on a little adventure? And I'm like, all right. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about. And he goes, he's like, let's go to New Orleans. And immediately I knew exactly why. I started crying. I was like, oh, Dad. I was like, Dad, that is like the trip to go on. I feel like the New Orleans trip and the Tampa trip. If you're going to if you're going to go to Tampa Bay, those are the two to go to.
That's exactly right. Those are the two games I'm going to this year. And then Tampa Bay is Tigers Talk meetup. So all of us will be there together. So we're going to have a ladies' night.
Oh my God.
Book it.
Perfect.
Book it, Sarah.
Of Tampa. Watch out.
That's right.
Yeah. So my dad and I both have never been to New Orleans. So we'll take any and all recommendations as to where to eat. We're going to be there for 3.5 days. And yeah, he's the reason that I love the Bengals so much. He was a season ticket holder for about 25 years. He and my grandpa both. And we've only seen the Bengals play away from Paycor Stadium a few times. Like, we've been to Lucas Oil. We went up to that team up north who we just don't talk about.
Ooh, you did.
Yeah.
That's brave.
Yeah. But other than that, like, we've only watched them here at home. So this is kind of a big deal for us to like hop on a plane together and go do this trip together. It's going to be really special. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be packed with great memories, and I'm with you.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been to New Orleans, so I am up for any and all recommendations. Like, where's the legit places we have to hit, right?
Yeah, like, I want to eat all the good foods, drink all the hurricanes, see all the crazy drunk people in the streets having sex. My buddy Scott Sloan over at 700 WLW, who I do the Snort Report with every Monday morning at 10:30, he's been to New Orleans plenty of times, and he says, you will see the craziest stuff going on there in the streets, like stuff that is illegal here in Cincinnati. He goes, all goes in New Orleans. He's like, two people just having sex on the hood of a car, and a cop was right there watching.
Oh my God.
He goes, so it should be a nice, wholesome trip for you and your dad.
Right. So this is a family trip, obviously.
Whole family.
Yeah.
So I told my dad about that. I'm like, don't be alarmed if we see people having sex in the streets.
If that happens, just whip out your camera and get a selfie of you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say selfie.
In the background.
It's like Kodak moment right here.
Like, here in New Orleans. Fun.
Happiest place on earth.
Right. We're all having fun.
Yeah.
I just thought of something, but one recommendation for New Orleans. You guys need to find the restaurant that Coach O took Joe Burrow to, that he had to import the crawfish to, which was the bar that, or the restaurant that he sealed the deal with Joe with.
Well, what's that restaurant called? I don't know that place.
I'm going to have to Google it. I just thought about it. I remember reading the story where where Joe goes down there and he's like, man, I really want to try some crawfish. And they didn't have anything on the menu. So Coach O made a call, and I guess a restaurant or a grocery store or something brought crawfish in, and the restaurant cooked it for him.
That was
a
big deal.
Yeah.
It's an epic story, and I forgot about that. That's a great idea.
It's almost a historical landmark at this point, right?
Yes. We got to do some fact finding and find out what restaurant that is.
I gotta tag me when you figure it out. Have you guys tried the steak burro at Jeff Ruby's?
I have not yet. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, you got to make sure to try that one. It is 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 9.
That's the new 10 out of 10. Sarah, you just came up with like the perfect thing. 9 out of 9 is better than 10 out of 10.
Guys, I don't know. I'm trying to wake up here. That was actually pretty lame now that I think about it.
No, that was perfect. We love it. Although Kevin Huber might take offense to, not 10 out of 10, but
we still love Kevin Huber.
We still love Kevin.
I love that he's a local guy. I love that he's going to be back this season. And I feel like he's just a Cincinnati favorite all around. He does a lot of good community, and we love him.
Absolutely.
He's a good dude. I remember one of my favorite stories is me and my buddies, we traveled up to Buffalo in 2015 for a game. We sat front row behind the Bengals bench, and every second or third down, Kevin would start warming up, and it'd be like right in front of us. And we'd always yell at Kevin, like, Kevin, sit down. We don't need you this drive. And he'd always turn around and start laughing at us. But yeah, he messed around with the fans the entire game. But Kevin's a good dude.
That's cool. I feel like a lot of our players are like that. Like, they love the fan interaction, and they're cool with being like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all young too, like you've got our guys like Jamar Chase, and I feel like they're just living in this moment so much, and they're just eating all of it up, and they're like, okay, this is pretty cool. Our town loves us so much. Like, let's give them exactly what they want.
Didn't you feel like that was such a theme last year, is just this coming together of the fans and the team and the organization? Like, it just in a really special, elevated way. The coach is handing out game balls, the guys are interacting with the fans. There's just a lot of it was just a lot of love and unity last year.
Feels you talking about that, because the team really brought the entire city together, and everyone was benefiting from their wins, whether you were a local bar. Speaking of our friends at Holy Grail, where we're going tonight at 8:00 for Big Bengals meetup, my friend Jim Mooring, who owns Holy Grail, he told me, he said, January is always our slowest time of the year. Like, our sales are down. He goes, we have to close on certain days. He's like, not this past January. He goes, our sales were through the roof. He goes, it was the biggest month that we've ever had. So it's like everyone is benefiting. Everyone's doing well locally. Like, t-shirt shops, my friends at Cincy Shirts, like, they were selling out. They were trying to keep up, and they were like, hold on, guys. We got to pause for one day here so we can get all the merchandise out to you guys to have for the games coming up. And then it was so cool because the Bengals would win, and that whole week leading up to the next game, it was just like the city was on fire. Like, all the lights at the banks were orange. Like, you had the big Duke Energy Cincinnati sign was in orange, and everyone, whether you were like a diehard fan, a bandwagon fan, or someone who just loved all the unity. Like, my mom, she's not a big Bengals fan, but she's like, I loved what it was for our city. And like the overall mood of everybody, like, we were all rocking like our Bengals gear for just weeks. I mean, it was so cool,
I think the week leading up to, or the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, I wore nothing but orange shirts. So I think people were starting to question me a little bit, but
we were all doing so. Like, everyone, we were all kind of running out of stuff. I'm like, hey, Cincy Shirts.
I would love to know what the Holy Grail pulled in the night before the wild card game, because that was, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but the fan meetup, I went there, man, that place was rocking. Before I even walked in, I could hear people just screaming "Hooday" clear as day through the walls as I was walking down whatever street that is going towards Great American. But that place was just wild that Friday night.
It was so cool. I'm looking forward to all of it getting started again, and just all the happiness that our team brought to us. I'm like, look at what these guys have done. And they're aware of what they've done. And I know Joe Burrow is like, we're going to do it again. Like, have you been following him on Instagram? His latest post a couple days ago was like, time's up. And I lost my mind. I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. Let's go.
I love how Joe Burrow does social media. It's a picture with one, maybe 2 words, and like it just gets you charged up every time.
It's so few words with such a big impact. And that's what I love about our guy. I cannot wait to see what this team does this season. I have them going 11-6. 11-6.
Ooh.
That's pretty solid.
What are you guys thinking?
I'm kind of right there with you. I'm back and forth between 11-6 and 12-5. Although I will say there's not a game on this schedule that we can't win. So
I know.
I mean, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Whit?
I have us at 15 wins. I'm sorry. I keep looking at the schedule. I keep looking at the schedule and I keep looking at Joe Burrow, and I think his swagger has officially rubbed off on me, and I'm also probably psycho, but I'm going 15.
If this team gets 15 wins, oh my God, Whitney, I don't know what this town is going to do.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it will be, but I'll tell you this, it's not just Cincinnati. You feel it the most in Cincinnati, but it's a nationwide thing. There is a bit of a Houday movement going on. And even in Florida, when you wear your Bengals shirts, you get treated a little differently than you did the season before that. You know, there's a little like, okay, yeah.
There's more respect there. And I'm so glad Joe Burrow is, knock on wood, healthy again. And I'm glad that he didn't play in any of the preseason games. I'm like, just stay away. We don't care. We don't care that we don't get to play. We'll see plenty of you this season. I'm like, just go get healthy from your big rupture in your appendix or whatever happened, which was so random. I'm like, whatever. It happened when it did.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God he was okay. But like, how man of steel is that? Like, I see Bengals captain every once in a while make those jokes, the Chuck Norris memes and stuff, but he does it with like Joe Burrow style. And I'm like, no, that's legit. I mean, the guy can overcome anything.
Yeah, he's the Chuck Norris of the NFL.
He is.
Give me Burrow over Brady, Mahomes, all of them. All
there we go.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I agree. No, there's not a single team in the NFL or fan base that if they're being really true to themselves, if they had a chance to take Burrow, if they could swap with us and have Burrow, that would say no. No one's saying no.
So with them going 15-2, which would be ideal, what 2 games do you think they're losing then? Like, who are they losing to?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably 2 fluke games towards the end of the season. Maybe 1 because we start resting starters to gear up for the postseason.
I love her optimism. She's not like, oh, the Bills look tough the other night, like maybe to the Bills. She's like, nah, there'll just be some fluke games that they don't care about.
I think Whitney's getting at here. I think she's saying we're starting off 15-0 and resting starters the last 2 weeks of the season.
Maybe.
Which would be Bills and Ravens.
Maybe. But the Bills did look legit the other night. They're living up to their preseason hype right off the bat.
Yeah, my buddy Sloan is a big Bills fan, so I know he was excited, and they looked really good against those Rams. I'm like, okay, where was this Rams team when we played them in the Super Bowl?
Right? It was bad. It was pathetic.
Oh, well, we're not going to like look back. We're moving forward. We're looking forward. We're staying optimistic. I don't even want to think about that game anymore. As much as like, just sitting there stewing over it, I'm like, nope, we're looking forward now.
Well, is that what we do? Like, so the Bills hit the ground running. There was a lot of preseason hype about them, and they came out and they proved that they were worth that hype. Is that what happens with the Bengals tomorrow against the Steelers? So do we hit the ground running and look sharp and amazing and on it game 1, week 1, or do we take a little time to get in our rhythm? What's up?
I'm thinking by the 3rd quarter tomorrow, we're gonna be in that rhythm, and we're gonna be seeing some impressive things from our guys. But we don't know what to expect from Trubisky. I mean, I'm not worried about him, but I'm kind of like, I don't know what to think about with this team. And is this rivalry as exciting as it has been in the past? I mean, the Steelers have had almost 20 seasons with Roethlisberger. Now they're without him. And I'm kind of like, all right, we were all hating on Roethlisberger. Do we hate the Steelers as much as we have in the past? Like, I know it's still a division rivalry, but I'm like, I don't know if I hate him as much. I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm going to say the same thing, or I'm going to bring up a story from my childhood when Bill Cowher retired, because my dad turned to me and he said, I don't know if I'll ever hate the next guy as much as I hate Bill Cowher. And it took about a half a season for him to hate Tomlin. So I'll give it about 2 quarters, and I think we'll find that fire within us once again. But yeah, I feel like the Steelers are a tough judge this year. Honestly, I think they're always going to be a solid defense. They always find a way to do that. And even on their bad seasons, they find a way to be at least a 500 team. Being a rivalry game, I think that just amplifies it even more. I mean, we've won the last 3 games, but this all started with, that memorable Monday night game in 2020. So I think they're still looking for revenge. I think they got a little fire in their bellies. And I think, obviously being a Super Bowl team last year, we're not going to sneak up on anybody. Everybody knows what we're about now, and we're going to get everybody's A game. So I think, with Joe not playing in the preseason, we might get off to a little bit of a slow start. And hopefully by the second quarter, we find our rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm still expecting a win tomorrow, but a hard fought game at that.
Yeah. And I think the Steelers hate will always be there. But to your point, Sarah, it's maybe not as palpable as it was after the last 2-3 games that we played with them. And again, that's another part of the Joe Burrow effect probably in this team. But I've gone back and forth on this game. I can tell you now that environment, this is where there's some symbiosis going on between the fans and the team, and where that relationship matters. That jungle is going to be freaking insane tomorrow. It is going to be rocking. It was rocking for a preseason game. So I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So when those guys come out on the field, I think they're going to be fired up already. But once they get out there and they feel that from the crowd, I don't know, they could light it up. I think they're just so focused and so hell bent on going back this year. And I think they want to come out and make a statement. So it's possible we're the better team. It's possible we give them hell right out the gate.
Oh, we're definitely the better team. There's no doubt in my mind that we can't sweep them this season, just like we did last season. And but like you said, it's like it might just take a quarter under their belt, and then that fire gets going in that second quarter, maybe third. But there's no doubt in my mind that our Bengals can't win this game tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if that offensive line gives Burrow time to cook, we're going to be good.
What's our feeling about Collins versus Watt tomorrow?
Dude,
how different is it going to look?
Did you see that guy during practice? He was swinging his helmet, throwing punches. There's no doubt in my mind that he's not going to be protecting our guy. He is tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I love that fight, and I love that passion he has to, you're not touching our guy, and if you do, I'm going to give you hell afterwards.
Yeah, he is the bodyguard. He's got this. I like that he was fighting with the Rams, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't
Aaron
afraid.
Donald.
I like it. I'm like, do not charge that man with some fine. Just let him do his thing. I'm all for it. I'm a hockey fan, so I see a ton of ice. More fighting like that, all right? I love the passion.
I'm with you there. And he didn't start it, but he sure as hell was about to finish it. And so I like that. Yeah, I guess there's something to be said about when you search for glass eaters, that's what you get.
Yeah.
So.
I know I sound terrible. Oh my God, Sarah is so pro violence. No, I'm so pro, hardcore, show your stripes on the field, baby. Defend your guy.
Right. That's right.
And I don't think we've really had that kind of offensive lineman since probably Whitworth. I mean, quality-wise, we've had great offensive linemen, but as far as, you touch our guy, I'm going to get you back. And I think back to Andrew Whitworth in that Raiders game where someone got a late hit on Andy Dalton. Whitworth ends up getting ejected from the game because he's like, I'm not taking that shit.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
I think we got 5 of those guys now.
Yeah. how special was that moment when he was on the ground with his children in the Super Bowl, and he was telling them like, hey, this is it for me. And I don't know. I love the guy no matter what he ends up doing. I'm like, he's such a good dad and just a overall like great figure in the NFL. And I think he's going to continue to stick around, and we'll see more of him. And so
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's one that you want to clone. Like, you wish you could clone him, like not enough Whitworth. And it was the only silver lining at all for that game that I do not talk about. It was the only silver lining for me, but you can't not love Whitworth.
Yeah. And I don't know how he was able to pull this off, but I whoever kept that under wraps for, what was it, 2 or 3 months, that whole video. I mean, we know how fast social media stuff spreads. But that video didn't surface until March, April or something like that. And he got to retire on his own terms.
How did it leak? I have no idea, but that's really impressive because, like you said, with social media, something can just like that. Everything can second.
Yeah. I was happy that he at least got to do it on his terms. So, nothing but love for Whitworth. So,
yeah. And living in
Northern, to have it against us.
Yeah. Living in Northern Kentucky, like, we always see him, like we always used to see him like at the Chipotle in Newport with his kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, God, I probably saw him like half a dozen times over there. And so I was like on a personal level, like just hanging out at Chipotle with his family. And I'm like, dude, he's just a normal guy, just like us.
Yeah.
Stars, they're like us.
But better. He's better.
Yeah, but like they got an entire team, and I'm over here like, all right, I'm gonna run away. This is fun, so I can run away from things.
Right. There we go. All right. So did we want to grab a couple of predictions for this AFC North before Sarah has to go? I'm so sorry, Minnie. What I did.
Yeah, so let's get into Sunday's games here a little bit. We'll stick to just the AFC North games. To run through that slate real quick, we have the Browns at Panthers, the Ravens at Jets, and then obviously the Steelers at Bengals. Whit, why don't you start us off with who you're taking in those 3 games?
I predict that we are coming out as number 1 in the AFC North starting week 1 because our division rivals are both going to lose those games. I think Baker Mayfield comes out. Hey, listen, Baker Mayfield is not that consistent of a quarterback, but one thing I do know for sure is he plays his best when his little feelings are hurt, and his feelings are hurt big. So I think he lights it up a little bit come Sunday.
Sarah?
Yeah, I like what she had to say about Baker Mayfield. That's really funny because he is kind of an emotional guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of like his emotions on his sleeve. But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to come out on top. 24-14 Bengals over the Steelers this Sunday. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
I like it. I'm obviously going to go Bengals win. I'm going 23-14. And then as far as the Browns and Panthers, I really want to take the Panthers in this one, but I just saw Christian McCaffrey has another injury, which I don't know why I took him in one of my fantasy leagues, but at least it was only a 3rd round pick. I do like what you say about Baker. He plays so much better when he's got a little extra chip on his shoulder. He has a huge chip on his shoulder this week, but I fear that the Browns are just a little bit more talented of a team, even without that quarterback we won't talk about being suspended. And then Ravens, Jets. Jets are hurting pretty bad right now. I think they're missing their starting left tackle for Sunday. And Lamar Jackson didn't get his contract done, so he might be playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. So I am unfortunately going with 3 teams at the top of the AFC North coming Monday morning, but the Bengals have the tiebreaker with the division win. So,
oh my gosh, what about without Zach Wilson?
Oh yeah, that is right. Joe Flacco's starting for the Jets as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to be sharing the top of the division come Monday morning. But that's not bad. We're still up there.
Hey, way to bring it down.
No, honestly, Tyler, those are all great points, and you're probably right.
Yeah.
And I do take some pride in the fact that the AFC North is no pushover. Those teams are not bad. They're all super competitive, and so I do take pride in that, and I can absolutely see where that happens. but I guess I'm high on life this morning and deciding to do everything optimistic. And so I'm just going to stick with it.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see him burn, but
Yeah, Minnie is in agreement with you,
Thanks, Minnie. All right. Well, thanks
guys,
for,
much for having us
joining.
on this morning. This was a true honor to be a part of your very first show. Again, the guest list can only go up from here.
nonsense.
Not possible.
We
Not
started
possible.
off on a high note here, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, guys. Hooday. Let's go, Bengals.
Hooday.
Oh, I love her.
So we got through our first segment, and that actually went pretty well.
We didn't mess it up too bad, right?
No, I think we did pretty good.
We'll see. So yeah, we had the opposite predictions for the AFC North this weekend. What is up?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that Browns Panthers matchup for weeks, and I really want to get behind the Panthers. I do love the storyline of Baker Mayfield ripping a new one into Cleveland, but I mean, Cleveland is a very talented roster. I just don't like. I'm just not a big fan of the Panthers, and especially without Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not a fan of the Panthers either. I completely agree. Listen, the Browns shouldn't have beat us twice last season. And I think part of what happens is that truly Baker plays out of emotion. He really does. Every time I've seen him play lights out and really light it up is when his ego's been bruised. And there's no bigger bruise than being dumped from your team and your new team
and the way
or your
that
old team.
And the way that they did it too, because that it wasn't just like, oh, hey, you're traded. It's like, no, you're our starter. Well, we're also talking to Watson, but no, just hang around, just wait around a little bit.
Yeah.
So that wasn't just like a rip the Band-Aid off situation. It was just like, we're going to peel this off a little bit.
Oh yeah, they played with his emotions the whole time. It was pretty insulting and disrespectful, truly. And I don't even like anybody involved in this situation, but it was. And so I do think if there's a chance for the Panthers to pull out a win over the Browns, who does have a more talented roster, I think it's a week like this. This is, Baker is going to give his all for sure. And he's proven in the past, he can light it up when he's upset.
Yep.
So he may suck the entire rest of the season, but he'd probably be pretty good week one.
So your prediction is 1-15 or 1-16 for the Panthers this year?
Probably.
I guess another important stat to mention here is that the Browns have not won a week one opener in 17 seasons. 0-16-1 in the last 17 week one games. So big question is, will they finally be able to get off that snide? I mean, that's another headline I didn't think about when we was planning this show. Is 0-16-1. That is insane.
I didn't know that stat. That is insane. And listen, I don't know that has any it doesn't. It's probably somewhat coincidental because Lord knows it's not like they've had any continuity of leadership in that organization. So there's nothing to tie those teams together from year to year that's done that. But there's nothing that's changed from last season to this season in terms of leadership that makes me feel like it improves their odds of beating that curse. It's not like their new $1 trillion quarterback is not going to be on the field. So that's not going to change that storyline. So I say, let's make it 0-17 for week one with the Browns. Book it.
I'm all for it. So I guess another headline we got going on as far as quarterback revenge games is Russell Wilson going back to Seattle or he is going back to Seattle. He is going back to Seattle with the Broncos to take on the Seahawks. Do the Seahawks have any chance in that game?
They do. The Seahawks are down bad.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks just are bad. And I can't imagine being one of the, what do they call them, the 11th man, one of the Seahawks fans and seeing the 12th man seeing, forgot a man. Seeing Russell come back out there in a different uniform, I mean, collective vomit moment or whatever, I guess. But listen, if anybody has an idea of Russell's weak spots, it's going to be Pete Carroll. So he's at least the best prepared he can be to try to take him on. Broncos are so much better than the Seahawks, but at home against Russell, who they know really well, Russell on a new team, it's possible.
It would
Not
definitely
calling
be,
it, but it's possible.
it would definitely be nice to see an NFC team take down an AFC team to start off the season. And I mean, the Seahawks do have weapons. I mean, you got DK Metcalf in there. They just got Noah Fant. So
True.
I guess it comes down to they're starting Geno Smith, which he might be on his last opportunity to prove that he's a starting quarterback. So he did look fairly well last year in the small bits that he did get in before he got hurt. So clean slate for everyone.
Yeah, that's true. And you really don't know what you've got until the season really starts. Everybody's just projecting things on paper, because think about what they said about the Bengals heading into last season and how wrong everybody was. Like, nobody talked about us, and if they did, they had zero prediction for us of having even a winning season.
I think the average win projection for us by analysts last year was probably 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So go Seahawks. Why not?
Why not? So I guess we can move on to we touched on it a little bit, but Thursday night's game, Bills-Rams. First off, who was you rooting for in that game? Because AFC versus NFC, Bills obviously going to be one of the top teams in the AFC this coming into this season, but we kind of hate the Rams after something.
Yeah. So there was going to be a silver lining if the Rams got their asses beat like they did, which obviously it makes you feel like that ex that treated you really bad just got like their comeuppance by their new person. So that felt good to watch, but I was rooting for the Rams. I wanted them to look like a legit team again this year. Probably a pride thing, but I knew that they had taken a step backwards. I just knew it. I knew they weren't going to be the same Rams. Anybody that's perpetuating the storyline that they're going to run it back to the Super Bowl, I think that we have a better chance of running it back to the Super Bowl than the Rams do, to be quite honest. Like, Whitworth is a really big loss.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go. You finish your thought, because I was going to kind of segue from that.
So plus, the Bills are the team. Like, I feel like the Bills are going to be, it's Bengals and Bills at the end of the season come AFC Championship time. And, in every prediction that I've got, that's what it looks like it's going to shake up to be. So, of course, I wanted the Bills to lose. More than I didn't really want the Rams to win, but I wanted the Bills to lose.
Yeah, I was back and forth. I determined in my mind I was going to be happy with the result no matter what happened. I was going to choose my silver lining. Bills beating the crap out of the Rams. Obviously, I've been happy with that. Rams beating the Bills. Obviously, seeding implications. Hard to believe we're talking about that week 1. That is a thought process. Week 1 already. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Rams offensive line looks a little shaky already, 1 game in here. And they lost Whitworth. They lost 2, or they didn't lose them, but 2 or 3 guys already went down with injuries. So Rams hurting pretty bad on that offensive line already. And if Stafford takes some hits here early on, he's already battling, was it shoulder or elbow issues right now?
I don't remember.
It's one or the 2 on his throwing arm, so that's not going to help that situation at all. I honestly want the Rams to run it back because I want another shot at them. I want a Super Bowl rematch this year because, honestly, that was the only difference between the 2 teams was the offensive line. Burrow gets 2 more seconds at the end of that game. Jamar's dancing in the end zone. But not to bring up bad memories.
I still can't talk about it. I had so many thoughts. I'm just going to keep them bottled up and maybe go see a therapist.
But how nice was it to see Jalen Ramsey get burnt time and time again.
He got schooled.
He is honestly lucky the Rams won that final game of the year last year, because instead of Eli Apple, they'd been talking about Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, that was refreshing.
I've never been a big fan of that guy, but that's I'm not going to get into that any more than I have already.
Yeah,
So
we agree.
as far as AFC predictions, since we kind of got into this a little bit, who are your top teams? Let's just go division by division. We'll start with AFC North because that's where our hearts are, and I think we're
Bengals.
probably going to agree on this one.
Yeah, Bengals. And you know what? I'm going to justify it a little bit because I don't want to sound like a homer and like it's total bias, because it's not. Just look at the facts. It's not just that we went to the Super Bowl last year. It's that we're bringing that complete team back that went to the Super Bowl last year, minus a few people that are upgrades, O-line. We're bringing all of our coaches back. And then I look at the rest of our division. We're the only team that doesn't have some type of quarterback situation happening. So the Lamar situation might actually work out in the Ravens' best interest, because he's probably coming out ready to prove something because he wants to get paid the insane money. So it might work out in his best interest, but still, it's the fact that there's something going on there that's not perfect. And then the obvious ones with the Browns and the Steelers. So we're the only team that's really solid at their quarterback position in terms of no problems, no controversy at all, or question marks. And then, like I said, bringing back that entire team, I feel like we took the most leap forward. So yeah, going Bengals.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. Obviously, it's going to sound homerish, but I couldn't agree more. Just to touch on some facts, or touch on some points here. I guess they're more my opinions than anything. Browns are a solid roster, don't get me wrong, but quarterback controversy doesn't help the start of their season for the first 11 games. Steelers, it's an annoying habit or annoying trait, but they're, even on their bad seasons, they find a way to be a 500 team. I expect them to at least be a 500 team. My big question marks is that offensive line. I don't think they did too much to improve it over the offseason. And then who's your quarterback? I don't think Trubisky starts the entire season.
No,
I think we'll see Kenny Pickett at some point. And how many times do you see a team switch quarterbacks mid-season have any success? It's possible. It's definitely possible, but I just don't see it from the Steelers this year with that offensive line. And then the Ravens, obviously you brought up the Lamar Jackson contract situation. It could light a fire under his butt a little bit, or it, could be a distraction too. I mean, we saw what happened a little bit with Jesse Bates last year. Yeah, I love Jesse, but his play did suffer a little bit during the regular season. So, and throw on top of that, the Ravens wide receiver core they got Bateman, and that's the only guy I know off of that. And they could have some surprises, but I mean, I think the Bengals are the most complete roster for 17 games right now. So
That's
I'm going Bengals.
mean, where's our big holes? Where's the Bengals' big holes?
The only thing I can think of is depth at the O-line. That's my biggest.
And how many teams in the NFL have really true depth at the O-line? It's hard to find great.
There might be 5
O-linemen anyway. So to have like a ton of depth there is not common.
Yeah. So. Cheers to the AFC North.
AFC North, who dey? Bengals.
All right, let's move over to the AFC East, because I think we're going to be in agreement on this one. I think a lot of people are in agreement with this one. We want to say it all at the same time. Count down from 3, 2, 1. Bills.
I should have said something crazy like Patriots, Jets.
That will be an interesting division, because I don't know who I want to take second out of there. I could see the Jets making
Dolphins.
I think Dolphins are definitely my number 2 pick right now. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think you can make a case for any of those other 3 teams. Doesn't help the Jets are missing Zach Wilson to start off the season, so that probably gives the edge to the Patriots and Dolphins. But that's just my thoughts.
Yeah. I think especially after the little preview, the display that we had in game 1 with the Bills. I mean, good luck. Good luck, everybody. And can I just say, AFC is so stacked, so locked and loaded, top to bottom. Like, I don't even think about the NFC. Like, what a joke compared to the AFC. It's tough, but all that being said, Bills are legit.
The AFC basically took like the Space Jam approach. And by that, I mean, that scene where the monsters take all the talent from the NBA players? That was basically the AFC to the NFC in the offseason. They took everybody, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah. I love that analogy, by the way. Way to tie in Space Jam.
Space Jam, the original, not the LeBron James one.
Of course. Obviously.
All right, so let's move over to the AFC South, because I think we're going to have – this one could be interesting, I think. I think this is going to be more interesting than people are giving it credit for. So in the AFC South, who are you going with?
I mean, that's a really tough one. I want to say Titans. I feel like they're so one-dimensional, and that's going to be their Achilles at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to stick with the Titans.
Sticking with the Titans. All right.
Yeah.
I was a little bit more confident about this pick probably about a month ago. But after watching a little bit of preseason, I'm being swayed a little bit more back this way. But I'm going Colts in the AFC South. I'm not a big fan of the Titans. I think Tannehill's kind of holding them back a little bit. And the reason why I started thinking Titans a little bit more was watching their backup, Malik Willis. Yeah, it's Willis. I was stuck on Jefferson, but that was our linebacker that we drafted a couple years ago.
Yeah.
No, Malik Willis, I think once he gets in, I think he's going to be a problem in the NFL. I think he's going to have a solid career. I don't know. Will he be one of the top quarterbacks in the league? Who knows? But I think he's going to be a difference maker in that Titans offense. But until he gets them on the field, I think they're going to just run Derrick Henry into the ground, and injuries are going to pile up. So I'm going Colts in the AFC South.
Yeah, it was between those two teams for me, and it's really a coin toss. I find them the second most confusing division in the AFC and most unpredictable. Yeah.
All right. So maybe the most interesting division in the league right now, the AFC West. Let's go ahead and call it the AFC Wild Wild West, because who the hell knows is going to win this division?
I feel like I do.
Who you taking?
So I've thought about this. I think that the Chiefs took a step back, an obvious step back this past season. And I think it's going to be too much for them to overcome in such a tough division. It's not that I don't think they're still massively talented. It's not that I don't think that they're still going to kill a lot of their competitors. But when you have such a tough, at least on paper, division, I don't know that they overcome losing Tyreek Hill in that division. And so I think they take a step back. I think I'm not 100% sold on the Broncos Russell Wilson situation. I could be completely wrong, but I think it'll take some time to get that mojo going, maybe. They're super talented, but that roster. But prove it to me. And then the Chargers, here's the thing, like one of the best rosters in the league, but we could have said that the last couple seasons and they haven't, something hasn't gelled where they broke through and lived up to their preseason hype, unlike the Bills. So I'm taking Raiders this year with the addition of Devontae Adams. They went to the playoffs last year, as we know. I saw them get their asses whooped. in person. It was wonderful. But they were competitive in that game, and I think they got better. So I'm taking the Raiders, AFC West.
All right. Well, I'm going to disagree, or I'm not going to disagree, but I'm going a different direction.
Okay.
I totally agree on the Chiefs. Phenomenal team, but I feel like they lost a lot of big pieces in the offseason. Basically, trading Tyreek Hill for Juju Smith-Schuster. There's an obviously talent difference between the two. They still have Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, but on the defensive side, which they wasn't too spectacular to begin with, they lose Tyrann Mathieu,
Thank you.
which one of their best players on defense, if not the best player on defense.
Yeah.
And then all these other teams add firepower on offense. I don't see it from the Chiefs this year. I think I still think they're a playoff contender, but I don't think they're an AFC West title race leader. I'm going to go with the Chargers out of this division. I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert. That offense is lethal. The thing that held him back last year was that defense. They was in the bottom half in most defensive categories, if not all of them. I don't have the stats in front of me off the top of my head, but I know in critical areas, they was in the bottom half, if not bottom 5. And they attacked that defense pretty hard this year. Added Casey Jackson at cornerback. They added Khalil Mack to go alongside with Joey Bosa. That's going to be a scary team. So it's going to be, can they put it all together? I really like the Chargers out there. Raiders going to be a dangerous team, but Derek Carr can be a little bit trigger happy on passes, and he's kind of got the thought process of F it, Devontae's down there somewhere. He just doesn't quite get those. He just doesn't get those completions though, like the top tier quarterbacks do.
You don't think there's going to be a little bit of that phenomenon that happens with like when your college quarterback meets your wide receiver, like that reunion?
That's a fair point
they don't
too. I guess
share a brain.
I guess that's a fair point too.
I'm saying it's not just adding a superstar receiver; it's one that has a connection with the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
I do believe like there's very few of them, but the extra elite wide receivers that can elevate your quarterback. That's why I do think the Tyreek Hill loss for the Chiefs matters so much. Tyreek is going to elevate your quarterback. He's going to cover up some mistakes from your quarterback. He's going to make your quarterback look even better. I think that's what he does for Tua this year. And I think that he's sorely missed in Kansas City. But then I think the same thing, the opposite, happens with Devontae Adams being reunited with Derek Carr.
That's a fair point. And again, AFC West. I mean, it's literally a coin toss. I think you can make a case for any 4 of those teams.
Absolutely.
So I guess that's to wrap up our AFC predictions here. Who are your 3 wild card teams that you're going with?
Ooh, wild card. Okay, so I think for me, there's going to be at least 2 teams out of that AFC West division. So give me the Chargers out of that division. Could there be 3?
It's tough.
I hate to predict it. Let me get the Ravens in there. And then maybe as a surprise, the Dolphins.
Oh, this is going to be lame. Because I'm taking the Raiders out of that AFC West. I do like them as a wild card team. I do like the Dolphins. They got a lot of firepower on that offense. It'll be interesting to see how Tua does this year. I think maybe he has a little bit more of a successful season. Tyreek can maybe bail him out a little bit. He's still a good quarterback. I don't think he's a tier 1 quarterback, but I think Tyreek will help elevate his game a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then my final one, man, I've been back and forth on this one. I'm leaning Ravens right now just because I think the AFC West just beats each other up.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit back and forth between the Ravens and the Broncos. I'm going to go I'm going to go
Ooh.
Ravens, though. I'm going to go Ravens, though, for my other AFC wildcard
Okay.
team.
Okay.
So
I dig it. I dig it. I look forward to putting all of this out after the episode sometime just to see what everybody else thinks, what their predictions are, because we disagreed on a lot of stuff. Agreed on a few things, disagreed on a lot of stuff. So it'll be fun to see what everybody else has to say.
yeah,
But I love this time of year because, I mean, anything goes. Like, you just don't know. You don't know what's coming.
it's a clean slate, and everybody has hope and optimism.
That's right.
So we are going on 1 hour here. I think we should probably start wrapping this up a little bit.
Yep.
We have a special segment here that we will be doing every episode. Our friend Bengals and Bourbon, aka Matt, will be putting together a special game day cocktail for you guys. Whitney, you want to roll that clip that he sent us?
Yeah, let's find his signature cocktail. This is what everybody should be drinking after we beat the Steelers this week, by the way.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Game Day Cocktails with your host, Bengals and Bourbon, aka Matt. At Game Day Cocktails, we're going to be making a different cocktail based off of each opponent we play each week. And this week, as we all know, is week 1, and we play the Steelers. And for this drink, I'm going to be making what I call the Trubisky. It's very simple, it's very easy, and it's going to be a shot, actually. It's not going to be a cocktail. So for this shot, I would like you to serve it chill, but it's up to you. We're going to start with what I like. It's called Galliano, if I pronounce it right. And then one of my favorite liqueurs is Cantera Negra. It's made with tequila, and it's a coffee liqueur. Now we're going to go ahead and start off with about a shot each. And I'm going to start off with the Galliano first. Pour that in. Get that going. And if you kind of see the theme here, it's going to end up being black and yellow. But get this going here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And as you can tell, as the black goes through, it's kind of going to be like the Bengals D-line going through the Steelers offense. It's going to be pretty easy. And the reason why I call it the Trubisky is because it may look intimidating, but it goes down pretty easy. Yeah, that's good. Here's to week 1. Hooday.
I love it.
Well done, Matt. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Beautifully said. I don't know if I could have done any better.
Looks intimidating, but goes down easy. Perfect. I feel like everybody should be having those shots, either one shot before the game or however many you want after the game. Just ask for the Trubisky. No one will know what it is, but I'll add the recipe card on Twitter so you guys can make it for yourself or ask for it when you're out and about again after we beat the Steelers.
Maybe tag the Holy Grail in there, and we'll see if we can get them to put it on their menu for their game day.
Yes.
Well, Whit, I think we can wrap this up for our week 1 episode. Thank you all for joining us. I don't know, maybe a little rough at times, but I feel like we got through this pretty well.
We made it. Coffee got us there. It carried us there.
Oh yeah. And we will be back. This is our one outlier for the schedule that we have planned right now, just due to some schedule conflicts. We will be back next Sunday at 9 a.m. We should be going forward with Sunday morning broadcasts from here on out. Thank you again for joining us here today, guys. We will see you at Paycor Stadium tomorrow afternoon. Rest up your voices. We got to be loud. Let's bring home a W. Hooday.
Hooday.